seen him almost on every stage at every cultural event in our neighborhood, especially in North Oakville. Arnav Narharisetti is one of the most inspiring kids that I've seen around, whose performances have enchanted us, and they definitely have given us a lot of entertainment. So thank you, Arnav, for coming.
Thank you, Ms. Raman. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Absolutely. You're an inspired Indian, and we definitely thought it's worth spending some time with you. You've been winning awards. You're everywhere in terms of a performer, which is fantastic. You are so versatile. I've seen you chant the Shiv Tanda Stotra as well as Western songs with great ease. Man, where does all that talent come from? So we'd like to get to know a bit better and inspire other people, because your success is truly something worth highlighting. So let's begin, Arnav. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, which school you are, what grade, and then we'll get into more of your talent and how it all began.
So I'm in grade 6. We probably moved to Canada in like 2012, and I've been like listening to music as I've been growing up. And as I've been pursuing my musical career, I've been going to like different musical talents, and as that, I've really been like liking schools that have like musical programs. I recently joined a gifted school back in grade 5, and
wow,
now I'm in grade 6, so I've been there for like 1 year now.
See, so Arnav is a gifted child, and we're not surprised. That's amazing. So you're very good academically as well. That's fantastic. I didn't know this when I started. I just knew about your talent. So this is inspiring for sure, 100%. Okay, keep going.
Well, I'm 11 years old, and I'm turning 12 in January.
Wow, 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 wow. And by just in these, in this very short span, you've achieved so much already. So tell us about your singing. It's a hobby, but it's also something that you're pursuing very seriously. So tell us about how did it all get started? Like when did it all start, and what have you been doing to nurture this hobby?
So when I was like really small, going back to the start, when I was really small, my parents would always like stream music through their cars, maybe like Hindi, any language.
Right.
I just like be tapping my feet to the rhythm. Maybe when I was like 2 months, maybe 6 months, 8 months old, I'd just be tapping my feet to the rhythm, and then sometimes my parents just catch me nodding my head. And as I've been growing up, I've been getting used to music around my house. And there's this one day where my parents were driving me back from school, and then we saw this garage sale from our neighbors, and they were giving out a Yamaha piano for $20.
Wow.
It was like a keyboard.
That's a steal day.
And my mom, she bought it for me because I really wanted it. I was literally crying for it. Maybe when I was like 4. And my mom bought it for me. I played every single day. Whether it be just like random notes. I just slammed it as hard as I could. And then over the following days, I would watch videos on how to use the piano. And maybe in like 6-8 months, I got used to some of the notes. And then I started playing like tiny like melodies. And then my mom, she would put me in classes. And then by the time I was 5-6 years old, I'd be going through levels. I started my official RCM career at the age of 9, I think. Right now I'm in level 3 RCM and still going onward through piano.
Wow, and I want to take a pause here. So you were 4 and you self-taught yourself.
That's where it all started.
Whoa.
And
so
then
clearly, this was something, they say nurture and nature. It was in your nature.
So overlapping 4 to 9 years, I've also been starting pursuing music, like my singing, since 6-7 years. I've been taking Carnatic musical classes.
Wow.
And that was my startup. And ever since then, I've been working towards singing songs. I recently joined Western classical and Hindustani classical too.
Amazing.
I also sing in 14 different languages.
Oh my God. Starting out, I didn't know what all these things. I just saw what I saw, and I'm surprised about everything I'm finding. You're way more talented than I thought. So I absolutely have to ask you this. You're gifted. You're learning Carnatic. You're learning Hindustani. You're learning Western classical. You're doing RCM. How do you find time for all this? I have a teenager who struggles with just doing his basketball in school. Forget everything else.
I love to prioritize, actually. I put lots of time in my scheduling, and me and my family...
Does not sound like an 11-year-old. That's amazing, okay.
We put education above all, because that's probably the most important thing that I'm going to have in life. And education is just number one for us. So any like school presentations, we're going for it. Even if I'm sick, I'm going to have to work through it and be there on time. And we're always going to be scheduling. We're going to be moving events, shifting times, rescheduling things, moving classes. It's all going to be all over the place, but then we're just going to figure out a way. We're going to prioritize things and put what's first and then what's last. And yeah, that's it.
That's so amazing to know. Has there been a situation when you felt, there's music and studies and you have to pick between the two? Has there been a time?
Very common, actually.
I thought so.
Being an 11-year-old kid and going to a gifted school, I get lots of homework. I have to do that homework because that's going to be very important to me. I mean, there are going to be lots of people saying, how's homework going to help you? Who invented homework? They must be really mean, dumb. And homework's actually what's going to give your logic, and it's going to help your brain.
Yeah.
And music's just one of these add-ons to life where you're just going to enjoy. And homework and studies is probably the most important thing. Although music is really important too, because both of these things help your brain and improve your logic cycle.
Whoa.
I love both of them.
Whoa. So how do you prioritize that? When on a single day, you have only so much time and you have to choose between studies and music. Obviously studies come first, but is that a hard thing to do?
It's actually very hard. Yes. So I might have like presentations at school, maybe piano concerts. Very rarely I take days off to go to events, but that's very unusual because most of my events come on weekends, and me and my mom and my dad, we all prioritize it, going from which one should be most important to which ones could I maybe do later or maybe reoccurring throughout the year.
Absolutely. And you know what? We did not think about, we did not have you at our Diwali Magic event, so we're going to make up for that next year. You're going to be our topmost performer, but that's another time. And so you kind of like, mostly you do the studies on your own. Mom doesn't have to like...
Not really.
Not really?
Yeah.
How lucky is your mom? Jad.
Very lucky, actually. I'm the best child.
Very, very true, Arnav. Very true. You know what? That's so true. Most parents will attest to this because I know for sure, many a times, parents are like constantly asking the kids to study, and sometimes they have to follow up, you have to discipline them. But they are really lucky that this comes naturally to you, and then you're prioritizing, you know where your boundaries are, and you're deciding what's important when. So clearly you enjoy singing a lot, right?
Yeah.
And where do those wonderful dance steps come from? You're so good at that. I've seen your performance so many times. You're so good at that. That's just natural too?
I mean, I have been dancing since I was like 4. As usual, since I started singing like rhythm tapping, my mom would just like put the songs and I just like do random things until my dad said, oh, that looks good, should do that again. And then my dad's been a real choreographer during my journey, and he has been behind most of the dance steps. And I also have dance teachers who help me out with the choreographing. My dad.
So dad is there in that corner, so that's why he keeps looking at dad. He's getting it.
Wait, no.
Assurance from him. Oh, but that's so wonderful. So you really have a wonderful team at home.
Yeah.
That supports you. Mom's obviously wonderful. She told me she was doing something else, and she said, no, I have to focus on your
My mom's behind a lot too, actually. She's the recording, most of the scheduling. She's going to ask me. She's like my social media manager also.
Aww.
She's so nice, and I'm very lucky to have her.
And she's recording our interview right now.
Say hi, Mom.
No, that's honestly, it does take a village, they say, right? It does take a team for achieving something that you have achieved. It's so incredible. It's not a small feat, to get to where you are at your age. It's so incredibly, of course, inspiring. I'll say that word again because we're inspired Indians. But also, it really tells a lot about who you are, your dedication to the art form and balancing it all with education, which is so, so, so important for kids. Which is a good segue, because you're not just doing it. The fact that you're good at it is now you have a track record, a proven track record, because you've won several awards.
Yes.
The latest one, due to which I contacted you for an interview, was when I saw that you won the open mic regionals. There were 3 rounds, and out of those 3 rounds, you were selected. So tell us more about that experience and what's coming next in that competition.
So back in 1990, about 30 years ago, they were starting these open mic tournaments and competitions through singing, and it was like all throughout Canada. And then they started regional competitions, and I placed 3rd in all of them. And there are multiple rounds. They placed me from the start, and I had to just work through it, and then I placed 3rd, and I'll be moving to the Ontario Championships, and I have a registered spot in there.
Oh, amazing. So what did this competition, and did they test like your classical singing? What was just it?
Well, they mostly just like asked me to sing. It was like very open-minded, actually. They didn't ask for any certain type of music. They just told me to give it my best shot, and then they would select, and they would also give me very nice feedback.
What did you sing?
I sang Before You Go by Lewis Capaldi.
Oh my God.
Yeah, for the lots of rounds. And then my mom would also put in videos of me from social media singing for rounds I couldn't maybe compete in, like the auditions. That was online, so my mom just sent some of my videos in there, and they accepted me.
Wow. Now from Lewis Capaldi to Shiv Tandav Stotra. Oh, you do both, or a wide range of everything in between so well. That's the best part of your talent, that you are so good at it. And that's the other thing. The other day I saw you sing Shiv Tandav Stotra flawlessly, beautifully rendered, best. Of course, the voice and the talent and everything is there, but the memorizing of it all and singing it flawlessly was something, it truly floored me. Again, not easy for a 12-year or 11-year old to do. So could we give the audience a little bit glimpse of your talent? I'd love you to sing. Between all the songs, that truly impressed me. So a couple of lines, if that's okay.
Here it goes. जटाटवीगलज्जल प्रवाह पावितस्थले गलेवलाम्बिलम्बितं भुजङ्गतुङ्गमालिकाण्डमड्डमड्डमड्डबन्निनादमड्डमर्वय चकारचण्डताण्डवं तनोतु नः शिवम् जटाकटाः सम्भ्रमभ्रमन्निलिम्प निर्जरी विलोलवीचि वल्लरी विराजमानमूर्धनि दगद्दगद्दगज्वलल्ललाटपट्टपावके किशोरचन्द्रशेखरे रतिप्रतिक्षणं मम धराधरेन्द्रनन्दिनी विलासबन्धुबन्धुरस्फुरत्तिगन्तसन्तते प्रमोदमानमानसे कृपाकटाक्षधोरणी निरुद्धदुर्धरापरि कुजित्तिगम्बरे मनोविनोदमेतु वस्तुनि ॐ नमः शिवाय सदाशिवं भजाम्यहं सदाशिवं भजाम्यहम् ॐ नमः शिवाय प्रफुल्लनीलपङ्कज प्रपञ्चकालिमप्रभवलम्बिकन्तकण्डलि रुचिप्रवर्धकन्दरं स्मरच्चिदं पुरच्चिदं भवच्चिदं मखच्चिदं गजच्चिदान्तकच्चिदं तवान्तकच्चिदं भजे अखर्व सर्वमङ्गलाकडाकडम्बमञ्जरी रसप्